like we were shown a while back, and it's worth revisiting because Ron DeSantis and Trump apparently are in some sort of rift. Actors and action, right? So Donald Trump comes to 138 in simple gematria, also known as English ordinal. And Ron DeSantis comes to 138 in simple gematria, aka English ordinal. Same thing. Both of them 138. So Ron DeSantis reps Donald Trump. That's all that is. So Trump, who lives in Mar-a-Lago, has always been your governor of Florida. They like them, those apples. And Floridians, me. And so nothing happened today. All is well. And so we have to continue to look and see when we think or I have to continue. This is just what I do. And 9/11 is November 11th. True enough. Let's go look at his event, though. I want to take a deep dive. So it's all about Eve, as we know. And the eve of the election is 11/7, or November 7th, which is 7/11, or 11/7 for the Bible verse of him rising from the pit. So if he were to go down at the Dayton rally, it is day 311, March 11th coding, and was March 11th just 311 coding. And it would have him rising on day 313, which is when our nation changed. It didn't change on 311. It changed on 313. So 312 is, of course, election day. Well, if the elections don't go off because he goes down on 311 or 11/7, there's a lot happening there, isn't there? You got a 311 paired up with 11/7. And then you've got 313 paired up for the rising day. You got 313 paired up with 119 Donald, or 9/11 in reverse. And 9/11, we told you, was all about the rising day of 7/11. So, and this just continues. When I looked up Donald John Trump, by the way, I couldn't remember. It comes to 11/10. The simple gematria is 185. That divides evenly by 37. I think that's a 5 spot. $37 times 5. Yep, that's that 185. So Donald John Trump does come to 11/10 in English gematria, which is taking simple gematria and multiplying it by 6. I don't know why they do that. But, okay. It's given to us, I would assume, for a reason. And 11/10 is given. So we'll also be looking at that day for a rising day, which means he would go down on 11/8. Or if he goes down on November 9th, that's 119 coded. And it would have him rising on 11/11. And November 11th is also 9/11. And him going down on 11/11 is also him going down, or the twin Trumps going down on 9/11, because November is the 9th month. So we're still in a very, very soft, vulnerable, sticky spot. Let's take a look. So watching Miami Vice, you got A 500, which of course is Antichrist, which is G500 in Strong's Concordance. You got Antichrist 500. That's old. Crockett. And what else did I see? So you got the orange Trump right here with, of course, the symbol for their Mystery Babylonian, or one of their Mystery Babylonian memberships, I guess is the best way to say that. So now, just looking at the grid, let me take a look at this. If you combine both days, I've got 7 items, personal items, for the 8th, which is pretty extraordinary. That might be my biggest 2-day span. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much fills the whole page. Of course, these are a little wider than the other ones, than this one. And if you include both dates, this is giganticus. I guess it's my biggest one. It's a Saturday Night Fever album. It spins City Back to the Future. It's Avengers Endgame. Darius Thomas, Death. Number 88 for the White Horse. Robert Trump, Death. The Highlander, The Killing Moon. Trump came out to the Undertaker song, Florence, South Carolina. King Kong Trade Center. Movie poster for the movie King Kong, release date. And the backward side for the X Across America, which is exactly what it would be if he went down. And then when you look at both these dates, or November 8th, if you're going to count both dates, November 8th falls on November 7th also. Escape from New York, Loose Change, and American Coup, Final Cut, October 2nd of this year, which landed on the same day. It's a mirrored image month, as they all are. October 2nd. Don't forget, Donnie Darko was all about the election on November 8th. That was the backdrop that was baked into the entire. It was the very first thing mentioned in the movie. I'm voting for Dukakis. It was the first words mentioned in the movie Donnie Darko. So this election day of November 8th is huge. The eve of it, tremendous, because it's 11/7. But let's just go ahead on and look at what I'm about to read you as November 8th, or if you include both dates, it'll land on the 7th. And we've already started. Let's keep going. April 4th, 2015, a blood moon total lunar eclipse and a total solar eclipse of 1988. That is just enormous. Just those two. That you've got a total lunar eclipse hitting on a total lunar eclipse and a 1988 total solar eclipse. Trump implosion casino, Maggie Gyllenhaal birthday. She was in Mona Lisa Smile. It's all about Mona Lisa, right? That's Trump's mom. She was in, of course, The Dark Knight and Donnie Darko, which is very unique to be in both those movies. So Dark Knight is the darkened right eye. And then 2 days later, he rises. The Dark Knight rises. Why do we say 2 days later? Because they came out 2 days apart on a calendar. 4 days apart, literally, both leap years. But it was The Dark Knight, July 18th. 2 days later, The Dark Knight Rises came out July 20th, 2012. So 4 years apart, 4 years and 2 days later. So what are they really telling you? Rising on the third day, Dark Knight Rises. And then you have Trump 10-10, 216, 311 weeks, Taj Mahal. I don't know what 311 weeks means. I need to probably investigate this a little bit more. 2001 in the at the Uptown Theater, A Space Odyssey, 2001, A Space Odyssey, release date. Liz Christ Trump's death on 6/6/66. Lucifer premiere on Fox. Total lunar eclipse November 8th, 2022, which is that day or 2 days from now. And the movie 7, release date. Alice Tully Hall Theater, all of that. So it's very big. So let's look at the numbers for 11/7. Obviously 77, 11 times 7. And it is day 311. And there are 54 days left in the year. And you do get a 2, Donald Trump, the 614. Well, this is just the Lord potentially languaging with us. I would tell you this is the Lord languaging with us. It's my own system that the Lord gave me in my heart to do a very long time ago, just multiplication. It's not on any, unless some AI just created one. This is not on any website. It's not in any books. It's not from the pagan or, the occult world. It's just patterns. 54, future tense, 54 days left in the year times 2022. You do get the 88 at the end. There's your 1091, which was the address he was just at the previous day, obviously. Single digit. So we multiply it by, followed by 0, multiply it by 7154. It also gives you 911, doesn't it? Let's do it again. 54 times 2022. Remember the third number, see previous video. When the second number is a 0, you take the third number and put it in front of the first. That would give it 910188. So 91188 hits on tomorrow, or hits on tomorrow future tense, because it's 54 days left in the year, which gives you a future tense type of language. Let's look at the fact that it's day 311 times 2022, 62. You got an 88 right in the middle. It's the 54. Times the 77. All of them. Oh, we already did that. To Trump. Okay. So we've covered all of that. Let's look at Trump's number, 163464. That's his year times his month times his day. Let's look at him times the 7th day. There's your 144,000. Times your 11th month. Got an 86 dead in the middle of it. Times 2022. $311 times 54. Trump's number times just the 311. You get a 007, a lot of 369s there. I did multiply it since it was a 5 and then a 0 by 7154. So let's go back. That is Trump times 311 times 2022. Again, single digit. But you have the 86ing of the 88 right there. Let's times it by 7154. So 54 times number. That's how many days are left on 11/7. And you just times Trump's number by 54 and you get the 88. Times it by 2022. 1784. I don't know if y'all remember that number from my number times 14308. All right, there's that old murder code. That's interesting. Times 311, 555. Okay. 577, that's all of them, which we've already looked at once. So tomorrow's it's an interesting day. So our friend, now my friend that I've known since high school, times 11, he was born on 11/17. And he is right. And that's what we want to look at, the Trump events. So we got Dayton, Ohio left, right? Well, that's tomorrow, where Jeff will be. Now, if you include both dates, Jeff would be Jeff Wright, who wore number 45. He would be 23002. That was Earl's number, was 02. Anyway, he's 23,000 in one day old. He'll be 007 on 11/13 then, wouldn't he? So when you look at this, his name is Jeff Wright. And then there was Earl Wright, his late cousin. And we've told you, we've been over this, that Earl, who was shot and killed by his mother, that Earl's number began, he was our quarterback my junior year. His number began with 370, and then it ended with 44. And the address, I've told y'all since day one, because we're trolled. That and fallen angels know the future. So here you are at this Wright, which is how Earl and Jeff spell their last names. And Earl's number 370, and the address is 3700. Then there's a 37 again, a 37 again in the zip code. And you conveniently have it, the zip code ending in 77, which is 11 times 7. And it begins with 45, which is what Trump wears on his hat. So to me, that's just giganticus. This rally in Dayton, Ohio. It's just enormous. It's just absolutely positively enormous to me. If we look at Earl, who was born in 1960, he was 727, the length of my pet goat. That's what I was going to tell you, that Trump's number 58, I've always told y'all, is related to the death of Earl. Now, on day 311, from Earl's birthday to 11/7, Earl would have been 62 years, 311, 3 months, 11 days. It's big. Let's look at when Earl passed away on 5/8. Remember the 58 floors at Mar-a-Lago and the 58 stories at Trump Tower. The passing of Earl in the seconds, you do get 1404 for the Book of Revelation, 44530. And you go back to 4530. 453 is the zip code. 45377 is the zip code, and Earl would be 44530. So 4453. It's just interesting coding, that's all. We're just connecting mathematical dots. Obviously, it doesn't mean a thing. It's just stuff that I look at. So this is all just if we look at second wife, again, you know, her number times the year 2022 and 23 begins with 1117. It is forever possible that Trump doesn't go down to 1117. I mean, Trump doesn't go down to 2023 or even 2024. And she will be 17907 days old. So on 11/7, well, excuse me, on November 7th, which is also, it's 11/7 and it's 9/7, she will be 7997 in both directions. She'll be 17907 days old on 11/7. And her number comes to 1117. Times it by the year. And you take that 3, remember, and put it in front of the 7, you do get your 370 coded into that address, 370, which was also Earl's number. 7 times 27 times 1960, 37044. Tomorrow's absolutely tremendous to me. Because it all fits into their world, whether it was the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th. One thing is absolutely for sure. By the 8th, it's too late. It's too late by the 8th. He has to go down 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Now we're down to 1 day. He has to go down before the election for the earth to see that America has fallen, because the mystery Babylonians on both sides will send their people to the polling centers for rioting. They will condemn the elections to be postponed, which means, and the elections stand for democracy, which means your democracy has fallen in this country. The country is now under civil war revolution. Attack Russia, China, let's take over America. Strike while the iron's hot. There's no hotter time to strike. Now, granted, that can all begin, and China and Russia could wait months to get involved as America just deteriorates in a man-made civil war, MARTIAL law type scenario. I don't think so, though. I think everything hits all at once. As an IPEC goat, it said markets plunge, war report, and we saw the bombs going off. As soon as Trump goes down, they would attack. And as soon as Trump goes down on 11/7, by 11/8, every single the streets won't be safe. National Guard will be sent in. Police will be everywhere. It'll all be man-made. It's nothing that organically happened. So the reversal of 9/11 in the cryptic world is 11/7. And the 7 and the 9s weave in and out of each other because November is really the 9th month, 9/11, which still will translate to November 11th. We still got many different days that Trump could go down. He can go down any day. I just try to look at the math of it, the numbers of it, because that's what the Lord brought me to. He brought me to the truth in God's word way after the numbers, but the truth in God's word came in 2017, that God doesn't love everybody, that hell is not eternal torment came in 2016, and then that God doesn't love everybody. Hell is not eternal torment might have even been late 2015, but God doesn't love everybody, that there's no such thing as free will. That came in the spring of 2017. And I was at that time just learning that Trump was the Antichrist. So everything started to come together. And the numbers really took off, him being 88 and me knowing that was my marriage number. And then how it all connected to Earl. Remember where Earl passed, the address was 3803. So that's 383 coding. That's 38 and 83 coding, which came to murder. You remember our friend that did all of that gematria for us. He showed us 83 comes to murder. 38 also comes to murder. Back and forth. 83, 38. That was Earl's address, 3803. We showed you that in a video or two or three ago. The 55 and the 53, well, day 55 is passed. So 53 days left in the year, though, is the total lunar eclipse. And that's what was parked under the carport and or the main car. I showed y'all that email where it marked it. So now my stepdaughter she'll be 8999 days old tomorrow. And then she will roll to an even 9,000 days old when Jeff Wright rolls to 23,002, Earl's number 2. But remember, her number has the 138 and the 88 and the 86ing of it, all in her number. 319, 1998. 98, of course, stands for the 98th verse of Revelation, the white horse verse. $38, 88, and the 86ing of it. And she's born at 8:08 a.m. And her first name, middle initial, and last name came to the same as Donald J. Trump, 148. So we track her. I have a great relationship with her. Very meaningful. Hey, it's her mom's birthday. It's 10/28, y'all. Look at her mom and I's combined number for the year. It's got 2001 in it. It's got 1127 is left, and 79 is left, which is tomorrow. that and November 27th. That's all we have left for this thing had given us any clues. Theoretically, November 20th is in play, I guess, because of the 920. Yeah. If we're going to count 9, yeah. True. Got to. The fact that the 7-9 is fused with the 52 there. Well, I'm sorry, not fused. They're next door to each other. In the pattern that then fuses to 216. The 86ing of the 88, which is what that was about on Groundhog Day, which is what the movie was about. The man's life. He becomes a better and better person from that Groundhog Day forward. He was unacceptable. Nobody liked him. He was mean, arrogant, didn't like people. And by the end of the movie, by reliving that day, he became a refined human. And I've been reliving that divorce that I created. I rushed her right into a marriage and I rushed her right into a divorce. She was okay with the first one, not okay with the second one. And so it's the 86ing of the 88 now. And then from me reliving that divorce, the Lord, through that process, the Lord made sure that I understood as he started calling me out of the world. And what does he do to a sheep? He conforms us to the image of his son. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, who he called, he also justified, who he justified, he also glorified. For whom he did predestinate, when before the foundation of the world, Ephesians 1:4-5. For he hath chosen us, sheep, in him from before the foundation of the world, to be holy and blameless before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. What about John 3:16? Well, the first definition for God so loved, cosmos is the actual word in the Greek, and the first definition of cosmos, which translates to world. Let's see, there's like 8 definitions for world in the Greek. And there's the rub. That's why God had the Bible, the New Testament, written in the most complex language on the earth. 8 definitions for world. The very first one is what he so loved, is appropriate, harmonious arrangement, order, constitution, government. What does all that translate to? His arranging of his kingdom, his family, that he loves. Jesus said, I only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, period. What is Israel? Israel is the church. And the church is Israel. We know that from Acts 7:38, when it's referred to as the church at Mount Sinai, receiving the lively oracles. And you look up the definition of Israel. Well, I'm sorry, I got stuck on looking at 4:0. We'll get back to that in a second. Israel. Look down here. Christians, the Israel of God, Galatians 6:1-6. For not all of those who draw their bodily descent from Israel are true Israelites, i.e., are those whom God pronounces to be Israelites and has chosen to salvation. They begin with Christians, comma. We are grafted in Jews. Romans 11. I do my own study on Romans 11 and Romans 7. 7:11. Go figure. That's what tomorrow is. For whom he did foreknow, to have knowledge beforehand, to foreknow of those whom God elected to salvation, to predestinate. Oh, people hate the truth. Only sheep love the truth. Only sheep love the truth. Only sheep love the truth. All goats will hate it. All goats will hate the truth. They want to believe that everybody's got this fighting chance to use their free will. If any man ascribes to anything of salvation, even the very least thing, to the free will of man, he knows nothing of grace. He has not learned Jesus Christ rightly. That's Martin Luther, who began the Protestant Reformation. Free will is Catholic. He and Erasmus argued over the doctrine of man's free will having anything to do with salvation. There's many books on this. You can find them on Amazon. Bondage of the Will and so forth is the name of one of the books. Erasmus was a humanist, Catholic humanist. Humanism believes in man over a deity, over any kind of God. Man. Humanism puts man first in front of God. That's who wrote Textus Receptus, aka the received text, which was the translation used to write the King James. It's the best we've got. It's crazy, isn't it? The truth that so very few understand. Anyway, I love y'all. Is tomorrow the day? Look for the Zoom number. Can't wait to see what it is. Can't wait to see what it is. It'll be down in the description. Will it have any clues? Will the Lord, because their AI loves to play with our heads, but the Lord trumps them, as you know. Love y'all. Let's see what the Zoom number is and the length of this video.